Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the brand new Canis Castigator ahead of the 2 update week videos for this week. I'm very excited about this. A Canis vehicle that is at the very tippity top, allegedly, of the SUVs category. Go figure. This is pretty awesome. I am very, very excited to customize this car. And let's go ahead and get started with the armor. We're going to go all the way up on that. We're also going to go all the way up on the brakes. We're going to do the engine fully as well. Let's do the turbo, and let's also get the transmission out of the way. Now, back to the body trim. We can go for some extended arches here, which is a pretty cool upgrade. I actually kind of like that. We can also go for a primary trim on the vehicle as well, which I actually really like. I'm going to go for that option today. For the bumpers, we have a few different options. We have a small splitter that we can do here, and it looks like it's not made out of carbon, which is cool. So we got that. We got the race splitter as well. And then we got all these weird bull bars. Not a super fan of these, especially without anything lower on the vehicle. I feel like these are really pointless because you're just going to hit the bottom of the bumper on most things. So we're going to go for just the splitter today, I think, for this build. And then on the rear of the car, unfortunately, there's like nothing that can be done that's not like insane. So I'm thinking on the rear of the car, we're just going to leave it alone. For the exhaust, though, we do have a few different options. We got the chrome tipped exhausts, the titanium tipped exhausts, or of course the rally spec exhausts. I think I'm just going to go for the chrome tipped. I think that that's probably our best bet, so we'll go for that option today. For the grille, we have the custom intercooler. We also have the intercooler with the water sprayer. We have the small Canis logo intercooler or the large logo intercooler, or of course we have the intercooler with 2 twin fans. I'm going to go for the large Canis logo intercooler. I think that that's really neat to have the Canis logo there, and then we also have it right there, so that's pretty cool. Let's go for that. Now for the hoods, we have the vented hood Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3. We also have the plated hood Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3. We have the plated hood with vents Mark 1, Mark 2, and Mark 3. And then we also have the primary plated hood with vents, Mark 1, Mark 2, or Mark 3. The primary competition hood, which is things are getting kind of crazy here. I'm kind of digging it though. I feel like out of all the options, I feel like the primary plated with vents Mark 1 is my favorite. So I'm going to go for that today. For the headlights, we will go xenon. I will also go ahead and throw a neon kit on the vehicle. And for once, I'm actually going to go for a color on the neon, and we're going to do it in red. And then for the livery, we have a few different options here. We got the white side stripes, except I can't really see those. So let's go ahead and just make it like a silver or something like that for right now. And let's go back to those liveries. So we got the white side stripes, black side stripes that are more gray, to be completely honest. But anyways, that's fine. White stripes, black stripes, which is also kind of gray in color. We also have the red trimmed stripes, or the red trimmed stripes alternate. I kind of like that, not gonna lie. I'm kind of a fan of that. We also have the Canis stripes, but unfortunately our vents block it off, and we have those in black as well. We also have the Canis graphics in black or white. We have urban camo. We have full camo with the Fort Zancudo, I think, something or other. We have flames, and we have Terroil racing, and back to none. I think if I'm going to go for anything, I'm going to go for the red trimmed stripes alternate. Now for the plate, we're going to go yellow and black. For the respray, we are going to go for a Torino red. You may have seen this build potentially coming, but yeah, we're going to go double Torino red on today's build. I know, very exciting. For the trim color on the interior, oh wow, this is looking very Seminole-esque. I'm kind of digging that. For the color, maybe just a dark steel. I feel like the dark steel looks kind of nice in there. I don't mind that. For the roll cage, we can go for some tuner seats instead of just regular seats, I guess. We also can go for the tuner seats with the cage at the back of the car. Interesting. We have the race setup with custom seats, or the competition setup. I'm just going to go for the tuner seats. I think they're kind of cooler looking. They have red belts, so we'll go for that. For the roof, we have the street roof scoop. We also have that with the aerial. We have the race roof scoop, and that with the aerial, rally roof scoop, and that with the aerial. We also have the primary roof box, secondary roof box, classic surfboard. We also have the modern surfboard as well. We have the roof rack. We have the classic roof lights, and we also have the modern roof lights. I think I want to go for the roof rack. I feel like that's the best option for us right now, so we're going to go for for that. For the side skirts, we got mud flaps, and then we have a bunch of assorted sidebars that you can do with the combination of also having mud flaps with said sidebars. I'm not a super big fan of it, so I'm actually not going to do anything there. I just don't think it's worth it. For the spoilers, I am going to go for the rally wing just because I want some sort of added traction on the car. And I feel like as far as wings go for this thing, I feel like the rally wing is not too bad, especially compared to things like this, you know, just like what are we doing, you know, type of thing. So yeah, we will just go for that wing. Sun strips, we could add one. I'm not a big fan of them though, so I'm going to just avoid it entirely. For the suspension, we can also lower it down significantly. Now, I kind of want this thing to be good on the road and off the road, so street suspension seems like a good sweet spot for me. I'm going to go for that. I absolutely love the stock wheels on this car, I must say. I really do like those. However, I do think that these would look good in a concave Rally Master, which is my favorite off-road wheel. So let's go for that. And maybe we do the wheels in like a dark ivory or something with the red. I feel like that's not too bad. Maybe a dark copper. Dark copper actually looks a little better, so we'll do that. Bulletproof the tires, and for the windows, we will tint them to a dark smoke. And I feel like this thing looks pretty cool as far as it can, you know, be customized. We're going to take it outside here, and then we're also going to do a sound test and then get into a full review on the vehicle's performance. So let's quickly take a listen here. Nothing too crazy. It sounds like, you know, to be honest, very average. It doesn't really sound special at all to me, which is a little bit unfortunate. You know, you like to see these Canis vehicles doing, you know, going above and beyond, as, you know, maybe a predecessor of theirs before. This thing, though, I have to say, I am quite impressed with the performance. It's almost as fast as the Canis Seminole, I feel like. It's like kind of similar to, like, I don't know, maybe one that's like got a turbo on it and like no other upgrades. It's feeling good is what I'm trying to say. It's feeling like a shred of its predecessor, which is honestly a compliment at this point, because I think we all know how good the Canis Seminole truly is. If you haven't seen my manhunt from the other day, you should go check that out to go and find out just how good the Canis Seminole really and truly is. This thing, though, honestly feels really nice to drive. The acceleration feels good. It has a nice launch as well. Let's actually see that launch again. I want to see that. Let's see. Off the line, it's definitely all-wheel drive, and you can definitely tell it's all-wheel drive off the line for sure. And in the corners, that all-wheel drive is definitely helping as well. It feels very planted. It doesn't feel very understeery up to a point. I think if you remain in a turn for a long period of time, I think most cars are going to start to feel like they're understeering at a certain point, and this thing certainly does at a point. But it does have a little bit of an oversteer bias until then. That back end does like to kind of slide out a little bit, so I'm liking that. I'm liking how this thing's feeling. I truly am. I think it's going to be the new fastest SUV on last gen. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel quite as good as the Gallivanter Baller STD right now. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't 100% know, but there is some talk that this thing is supposed to replace the Baller STD as far as the SUVs category goes. So not 100% sure about that, but I can say that it does feel really nice to drive. It's going around these corners very well, very convincingly. It's also fast. It feels like it has a decent top speed, and the acceleration certainly is pretty awesome as well. Customization, not gonna lie, a little bit let down, I feel like. I feel like this thing had some greater potential. Of course, as I've already mentioned before, I just wish that they would have given us a Trackhawk at this point, or at least a full-size Jeep Grand Cherokee that we could maybe make into like a base model or an SRT or a Hellcat, or Trackhawk, I should say. That would have been a lot more ideal than this thing. I don't know. I've heard from you guys in the comment section that this is supposed to be based off of a new all-electric Jeep. It does have a gas engine, which is good. That's a start, at least, right? So that's definitely a good starting point. But yeah, I just would have rather seen a Trackhawk, and I don't really know why they're refusing to give us one. Maybe this is some sort of a selling point for GTA 6. I really don't know, but I know that's something that the community, at least a large contingent of the community, really, really wants. And I'm one of those people. I'm with you guys. I would have definitely rather seen a Trackhawk than this thing, and it's a cool vehicle. I'm really enjoying driving it, to be honest. I don't even want this review to end. I'm actually having such a good time, especially off-road here. I feel like off-road is where this thing is actually going to shine. It just feels so at home off-road. It does have Canis Seminole DNA in it, I'm sure, to a degree, so it makes, you know, perfect sense that it's very, very exceptional off-road. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying this car. I do think that this thing is worth picking up. I wish that it had, you know, a little bit more to it to make the value just be a little bit higher. This thing goes for $1,650,000. And for that price, I would have really liked to see a Monty Tech on this thing. But I checked before I started this customization and review, and unfortunately, no Imani Tech upgrades for the vehicle. So that is pretty unfortunate, but nonetheless, it is still a really good vehicle. And if it's true that it's going to be the #1 performing SUV in the SUVs category on last gen, I think it is probably worth owning, especially if you're going to be doing SUV races at any point. But even if you just want a cool little SUV for free mode, maybe some off-roading, stuff like that, I think this is actually a very good vehicle. Is it better than the Canis Terminus, which is only 200 grand more than it? Not really, but it is still pretty cool. So do with that information what you will. The Canis Terminus does also have Imani Tech, I must say, but this thing does remind me a lot of the Canis Seminole, and if that's any consolation, I think that means it's a very, very good vehicle. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about the Canis Castigator in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.